model for Duox mutations is actually the panda bear. So the question is, how does this carnivore survive on a meager diet of bamboo? And the answer is, it has hypothyroidism. So they have plotted here daily energy expenditure, and this report of science also described in the Washington Post last year. So the panda bear is on this curve here with all these low energy mammals, two-toed sloth and these desert rats. This dotted line is animals that have 37% of the energy utilization of these other animals, and they have hypothyroidism. This is the panda bear thyroid hormone T3 and T4 levels. This is some other low energy mammal, maybe George or Bush, another low energy mammal. And so turns out it has point mutation, introduces a premature stop codon in the Duox cheating rate. So if you survey tissues with high Duox expression, you'll find thyroid tissue is at the top of the list, skin, and then all these mucosal tissues. And you find in these epithelial tissues, the Duox is condensed on the apical surface. Here in the gut, the pig, you see it's condensed along the apical surface of the gut lumen. So these peroxide generators are end outward in these mucosal tissues. And we looked at a variety of mucosal tissues. Nicholas Geist in my lab years ago noted that every mucosal tissue where you have this antimicrobial peroxidase, you have detection of one of the other forms of Duox. So starting with the thyroid paradigm, you have partnership of Duox with thyroid peroxidase, and we proposed partnership of lactoperoxidase in mucosal tissues. Then as you look in lower invertebrates, you also have Duox isozymes that are partnered with different peroxidases. And here in the sea urchin, the oval peroxidases use Duox-derived peroxide to operate the fertilization envelope. And here you have the worms with Duox defects have a cuticle defect, and they have problems in cross-linking of their extracellular matrix. And also in the gut of the mosquito, Carolina Maria's lab has shown partnership of gut Duox with this immune peroxidase that cross-links matrix and forms a barrier in the gut of the mosquito. So the lactoperoxidase has been known for more than 50 years as being that microbicidal peroxidase in saliva, milk, tears, etc. And we had suggested that Duox was a source of peroxide supporting lactoperoxidase. We showed expression in terminal ducts of salivary glands, particularly high in the rectum. Also, we detect Duox and lactoperoxidase. And it's the generation of peroxide from this rat rectal gland is inhibited by this oxidase inhibitor. Turns out in the fly, if you silence Duox, the animals succumb to gut infections. You see higher colony counts in the RNAi-treated flies. They die. And you can rescue that by overexpressing Duox again. And in airways, we detect Duox transcript on a tracheal epithelial layer. We detect lactoperoxidase in these submucosal glands, and then it gets secreted out to the airway surface layer that then partners with Duox-derived peroxide and thiocyanate to make hypothiocyanate, which is a microbicidal oxidant. And we could demonstrate this in primary human bronchoepithelial cultures. This will grow on an air-liquid interface. It takes 3 or 4 weeks before they reacquire a mature ciliated phenotype. So this 100% confluent layer by day 25, you see 50% of these cells is staining positive for Duox, and these are the same cells that have cilia detected with anti-tubulin, and over the course of time we see enhanced peroxide generation coincident with enhanced Duox expression. And we use these cultures to show that we could kill airway pathogens that are oxidant sensitive when we had the full system there, ciliated epithelial cells, Duox activators, lactoperoxidase, thiocyanate. If you leave any of these out, you have higher colony-forming units. So here's maximum microbial killing. And if we add antioxidants or this oxidase inhibitor, we have up to higher colony counts. Likewise, in this case, ascorbate gives higher colony counts than antioxidants. So we, over the years, have some many functions for the Duox. Synthetic functions, matrix cross-linking, hormone biosynthesis, barrier formation, microbicidal activity. Others have described bacterial repulsion by peroxide and mucin production by Duox. And more recent studies, three others have shown that redox signaling, inflammatory cell recruitment. So in airways, Vandervliet has shown that the dust mite sensitized asthmatic model mice, if you knock out Duox1, the inflammatory cell recruitment to airways is diminished in that asthmatic model. And Vandervliet is also emphasized, here's another demonstration of wound healing involving duox in the zebrafish, where Meathammer has shown that a laser-induced wound here within a matter of a few hours leads to recruitment of inflammatory cells and marked with red fluorescent protein. And if they silence duox here with this morpholino modified oligos, they show peroxide production here is down. This is a peroxide assay. And recruitment of inflammatory cells is down if you silence duox in the fish model. And Vandergrief has proposed in airways also. He's looked at chemical wounding and also allergen stimulation. He's proposing that ATP is an agonist that activates duox production of peroxide, which then leads to wound healing or these other inflammatory responses. We have described induction or activation of duox by histamine with these airway cultures. We showed that histamine receptor 1 agonist is responsible for injection of duox, derived hydrogen peroxide production, and it can be inhibited by these histamine receptor 1 antagonists. So to summarize this third and last section, the airway duox we think has a role in supporting lactoperoxidase-mediated microbicidal activity. It can also maybe inflict tissue damage with this more harmful peroxidase, and can also have effects in these asthmatic wound healing phenomena. And the duox is stimulated by different activators or microbial agonists or these various inducers. So to sort of tie it all together, one of the overriding themes I hope that may have come across is that several of these epithelial NOx enzymes have distinct tissue-specific expression patterns, and in each of them you have wound healing or a migratory cell phenomenon that can involve different agonists, bacteria, danger signals, viral inducer, mutations in P53 that affect the induction of different NOxes, giving rise to cell migration or fibrotic phenomena that involve common goals. And so I'll stop there and just get back to the overview of how various NOxes are involved in inflammatory or infectious disease. And any questions? Thank you. And if you want the updated slideshow, I can email it to anyone who contacts me.
Can you comment on the evolutionary relationship of the duox and the NOx? Is there any relationship at all?
Yeah, James Lambert has put out a nice article about 5 years ago, and so it turns out that the NOx enzymes have very ancient origins. It goes back even to the plant kingdom. So you might consider, for example, you drop an apple and it bruises, turns brown. You might consider that an inflammatory injury response involving generation of NOx-derived oxidants. It turns out that you have several of these NOx enzymes that are even in plants. The fusion of the peroxidase-like moiety with the other NOxes, I think, is occurred only in the animal kingdom. But the plant kingdom has NOxes that do have calcium binding to hands, so that has ancient origins. Yeah. Yeah. So, we're talking about an ancient form of chemical defense, post-defense, involving a generation of a variety of oxidants. Yeah. There are also developmental roles for NOxes in the growth of root tips. So there are particular NOxes that promote elongation and proliferation of cells at the root tips. And they're also seen in multicellular fungal organisms as well. Thank you, Tom. Okay, thank you. David has been successively, over the space of several years, adding more and more details to that map of information about our origins and how all of us, originally Africans, have ended up in other parts of the world, and how the study of DNA can teach us about those historical events in ways that have really remarkable detail attached to them. It's also a particular pleasure to have David here as our speaker because it's kind of a family thing. Many of you know David's brother, Danny Wright, sitting here in the blue shirt, one of our distinguished crystal investigators in the neuroimaging arena, and somebody that we have asked many times to talk about his research to distinguished visitors at various moments, including high-ranking officials of the United States government, who does wonderful research in the area of multiple sclerosis and other things. And I'm also very happy to point out that Danny and David's parents are here also, sitting on either side of him. And his dad was once here at NIH as an investigator at NIMH. So this is really a wonderful family occasion that we have here. Well, to say very briefly a couple words about David, so I don't take any more of his time. He is currently professor of genetics at Harvard. He's an associate member of the Broad Institute. He's an investigator at Howard Hughes Medical Institute. He did his undergraduate work at Harvard in physics. Always a good start, I would say, for somebody who's going to be pretty darn quantitative, and he is, and pretty mathematical as well. Then after that, did a DPhil in statistical genetics at the University of Oxford, where he was David Goldstein. And then on to Harvard Medical School at MIT, but ending up at the Whitehead for a postdoc in medical genetics, and then to Harvard and the appointments that I just mentioned at the Broad and with Howard Hughes. His work has been recognized by a variety of special awards. The Newcomb Cleveland Prize from AAAS for the best paper in science of the year in 2010. The Genzyme Outstanding Achievement Award, named as one of Nature's 10 people who mattered this year by Nature Magazine last year. Happy to claim him as a PI and co-PI on several grants from NIH. And as you will hear, happy to see the way in which his research is evolving in fascinating ways, including, by the way, that his paper in Nature came off embargo at 1 o'clock today. So it's a very good bit of timing to have him here to talk about the latest findings. So please join me in welcoming Dr. David Wright. Do people hear me? Okay, thank you. It's really a great honor to come speak here and to be invited to give this lecture to the NIH. I'm going to tell you about a new scientific instrument that's been developed in the last really 5 or 6 years, and that's really made it possible to study things that were not possible to study before. And I'm going to tell you about work that I've been involved in trying to use this scientific instrument to learn new things. So I hope that at the end of this lecture you will appreciate the power of this new tool and its potential to learn a lot of new things. So I'm first going to tell you about this new scientific instrument, ancient DNA. So this is an instrument that was not invented